Hello and happy Friday. I'm Anson, and we are in week 5 of our Lent series, where we're looking at the last 7 days in the life of Jesus. As we're moving through Holy Week, this past week we saw Wednesday, which was what I'm calling next to Last Supper. We saw Jesus gathering with his followers in this home in Bethany, outside of Jerusalem, where he was anointed with very expensive perfume, a $60,000 bottle of perfume by one of his followers. And the significance of that act was that it prepared him in advance for his burial. And what was significant about that is that this woman had perceived his mission, the divine plan that Jesus was going to lay down his life, give his life as the sacrifice for our sins. And so within that account in the Gospel of Mark, we saw that within the human scheme to take Jesus' life, and the religious leaders, remember, they were scheming to take his life. Within those schemes, there was a divine plan for Jesus to give his life. This week, we're moving into Thursday, the next day, and it's the last meal, the last supper. And very similarly, we're going to see in this that within the divine plan that God has for the world and that God had for the ministry of Jesus, there were human actions that were used to carry it out. And so while last week we saw the divine plan within human actions, this week we're going to see the other side of the coin, the human actions that fulfill the divine plan. And we see how these two things work together, the divine plan and human actions in Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. And then also by extension throughout everything in the world. We see how the divine plan and human actions work together. But perhaps the most vivid example of that is in the life of Jesus himself. And so we're going to see the significance of it. We're also going to practice communion, which came from the Last Supper. So it's going to be a big Sunday this week. I hope you'll join us here at Lake Norman Baptist. Also, this Sunday and the following, April 6th and 13th, are the last 2 Sundays of Lent. And it's the last 2 weeks where we're going to be encouraging everybody to bring back your 12-month giving plan. Remember, as we move through this series, we're learning, we're responding through giving, and we're going to be encouraged to respond through prayer as we move out of this series. I'll say more about prayer as we get closer. But these are the last 2 Sundays. We want to encourage you to bring back your commitment cards. If you haven't grabbed those materials, the giving guide, the commitment card, you can pick those up here at the church and bring them back. But April 6th, April 13th, we want to encourage you to join me in working through that giving plan. If you haven't done so yet, praying through what God would have you to do in terms of a commitment for these next 12 months, and then bring that back. And we'll step into these commitments together as a response to what Jesus has done, his sacrifice for us. As an act of worship, we respond through giving. So, very significant series. We're at a significant point in the series, and I hope you will join us this Sunday. And until then, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.